And everyone's are on sale. Sometimes the bigger ones are cheaper.
Sometimes they are, yeah.
Sometimes when they cost like,
I didn't have anything besides a morning cup of coffee this morning, so this is perfect. I needed this.
Okay, we'll go ahead and call this council work session to order. It's Wednesday, April 3rd. The time is 2 p.m. Go ahead and open it up for visitor comments. If you'd like to come up and make a comment, please state your name for the record. Keep it to 3 minutes or less, and our city recorder and administrator will be taking notes of action if needed. Who would like to speak?
My name is Ron Problem. I want to apologize for the disruption after speaking on March 20th, 2024. Because of my poor hearing, I didn't hear what the mayor was saying as I returned to my seat. I responded to what I think he said when listening to the recording. I understood that the statement from the attorney is the response of the city concerning client privilege. This is telling the public that regardless of the city's involvement, there is no explanation required. This told the citizens that no matter what transpired, its actions won't be disclosed. Client privilege could be used for anything. This leads to suspicion of the city's motives behind client privilege. What have the city's actions been that the city won't clear the issue by just stating mistakes and then move forward? My goal has not changed. There is not enough transparency, and I want the client privilege contents disclosed. When I asked the city about providing more transparency, I was told they didn't have to. The city has been good in secrecy and silence. As an example, a county commissioner asked me, what is going on with a 2 million gallon reservoir? This was an interesting request for information, and I updated with the information I had. I believe there is few people that have updated information. The problem with receiving verbal information from people is that you can't verify the conversation and use their evidence. This results in a problem in using useful information. I also believe that this keeps people from making comments if it is witnessed or recorded. I was glad the mayor made his comments on November 16, 2022. The mayor stated there was no smoking gun and that he was not going to discuss it with me, in English terms, referring to no damning evidence. The statement was false then, and it is false today. The facts are there to inform everyone in the city that the city has been a participant in the complicity and shares responsibility for the 2 million gallon rehabilitation failure. The same November 16, 22 council meeting, I was given a message that I should refrain from pursuing the 2 million gallon reservoir failure or suffer the consequences. I sent the message to the Spotlight, and their reply was they wanted me to rewrite the letter. They were fearing litigation. It was very useful when the mayor and Mohammed gave interviews, statements of their priorities for the city. Neither person mentioned the 2 million gallon empty reservoir that was requiring either repair, rebuild, or replacement. The reservoir has never been on a priority list and remains a casualty.
Brady Preheim. I still have not seen any official announcement from the city about the Project Sprint. Despite the fact that the mayor of Scappoose announced it at their city council meeting. I think it's not a good sign, and no criticism to Crystal, but there should have been an announcement coming from the city. We shouldn't have to hear news about St. Helens from the Scappoose City mayor, and so I think it should have come from the city. There should be some official announcement. And I don't know why you're not making that announcement, but it shouldn't be Scott Poose's job. They actually annoyed me because they were actually happy that the deal didn't go through, which is like, what the hell's the matter with you people? And that's after I complimented one of their counselors for, which I also wanted to bring up. Obviously, they were concerned about power, but I thought it was a very rude comment that he made, frankly, but regardless, it shouldn't come from him. The other issue that I did want to point out, which I commended Scapa City Council, in particular, Councilor Holmes, for calling out the Columbia County Transparency and Accountability page for the hypocrisy and the false information. And you should listen to that March 18th meeting. That's at the end during councilor comments. I think it's a textbook example of how you have citizen engagement, but call out false information. Silence is consent. And if you don't say something and someone is either attacking your city or your tourism director and you don't respond on social media, then that is sort of saying that's true. And I think that they did a very good job of step-by-step pointing out the things that the group had falsely accused them of. And I think that's an example for you guys to watch and take advantage of that. And would hope that you would do that, including comments that have been made by your former finance director and who had an agreement not to talk about it. And I don't know that if you took any action against that, but I would hope that in the future you would do that. And the last thing I want to say briefly is about the Willow canoe that you're going to talk about, the Flying Eagle canoe with Willow. I think your choices weren't the only two choices. I think one of them could be, don't give it away, but you can loan it to him. That's what I'd like to see happen, so that's on display and being used and like you did before. Thanks.
So I'd like to just comment back on Mr. Preheim because he brought it up. I'm gonna read it out, public comment, but dear sirs, first and foremost, we'd like to extend our deepest gratitude for the last 6 months of partnership with our company. In our goal to find a feasibility site for our project. Given that this letter of intent with the city and the will serve letter from PGE has come to an end, it is unfortunate that Renogy has not come to a decision that is beneficial to either parties. We will not ask for another extension of the LOI or the will serve letter. And we understand that we lose the exclusiveness on this site. This is a difficult decision for us, and we understand we may not have the same opportunity in the future. And on behalf of the rest of our team, we are thankful for all the time and resources you have dedicated on this project. And I would just like to thank the governor's regional solution team, Business Oregon, all the elected officials and our local elected officials, CSET. I'm probably forgetting, PGE, PUD, everybody who spent time on this project. It was a huge team effort, and it's just unfortunate. Maybe it's the economy, or I don't know. You know, that's what we got. That's the letter we received. It was disheartening, but that's what we received. So, all right, back to visitor comments.
All right, let's bring something positive to the table.
Yeah.
How you guys all doing? Good. I don't want the canoe, man. I never taken care of it. 15 years ago, I carved it out of St. Louis.
Well, I need you to state your name.
1,000 people.
I need you to state your name for the record.
On my bad. William Goulart, Wheeler, Oregon, here in St. Helens, trying to protect the national treasure. 16 years I've been trying to do this. 16 years ago, I asked, hey man, why don't we just get a case? I went as far as getting Wana Bank involved. They were gonna pay for half of it, $5,000. Since then, we've spent almost, I think it's like $320,000 on giving money to the councils. 1,000 I wanted. Anyways, long story short, I hear people right here don't want to give it away. I don't want the canoe, man, but nobody's taking care of it. Let's put some of your thing, man. Let's go to a vote right now. I'm here with a trailer. I'm gonna take care of it. I don't want it. I want to take care of it. I want to bring it back here when you guys have what you've been talking about for almost 2 decades taken care of. Like I said, we could have put that case out there years ago. You could move the case. We even had diagrams as far as putting it somewhere up like that. You gotta know the story of the canoe. It has a turtle on the top. So if you knew about the turtle, that's what saves that, or that's what creates the world. If that was up there on the ceiling, you would never know what created the world. So important. I know that some of you probably got some of my comments regarding the US Coast Guard. As far as certification, John, a log doesn't need to be certified on the river. As far as documentation, there is more documentation on the Flying Eagle than you can think of. It's been on the front pages of the newspapers across the country 50 times. I don't know if you guys want me to wait till 3:25 and discuss the survey. It's really not about a survey. It's about what you 4 people right here talk. I need 3 of your votes. I've been here 16 years. I asked you, can you guys take this to a vote right now?
Not part of our process.
Not part of the process.
Well, just explain the governmental process. It has to be declared surplus property and so.
You can give this away, and it doesn't have to be surplus property. It does not need to be put up so that people can vote on this to buy it.
So, but we'll be talking about later.
I'll be waiting. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Good to see you.
Greg, it's always great to see you.
Howard Blumenthal, I'm here to talk about a couple of things. One of them, of course, is the Flying Eagle. And if Willow Bill is willing to take care of it, and as he says, give it back to us when we have a place to be able to display it correctly and for it to get out and be seen, to me, that's the most important thing. Hasn't been out much in the last few years, even if it's just for people to look at it. Well, I understand it just sits underneath the tarp and gets weathered on, and you know, who really knows what type of condition it's in anymore, you know? So I think it's important for us to look at it that way, you know? I'd like to trust Willow that, you know, once we get a place to really display it here, that it could come back home here, you know, and just think of all the people that would see it. It's a really magnificent thing that the citizens of St. Helens created back in, what was it, 2006 or whatever it was, you know. So the other one I want to discuss real quickly is I hope that we keep this construction project here on track. And we're already, what, 3 or 4 months behind on the intersection over here. And I never imagined that we'd be blocked off from the waterfront at the far end of the property for almost 1.5 years now. And as the construction is happening this way, it's like there's nothing going on at the far end. If there's any way we could allow people to access the trail from the other end of town, it'd be really great. There's far more danger right now coming down the Tualatin staircase and trying to figure out how to get to this end of town with all the equipment. The staircase is still open, but once you get to the bottom of it, you have no idea where you're supposed to go. Every day I come down, it's a different way of trying to figure out how to get over here. When we finally get to the intersection over here, I don't even know how I'm going to get to the downtown area unless something at the other end is opened up. I really hope that we can facilitate keeping the project moving as quickly as possible, and anything we can do to get it done to lessen the length of the impact. I'm afraid this could go on for another 1 or 2 years. You know, I've heard rumors, people talk about it should be done by September 29th, which I really don't quite see that happening, you know, but it's becoming a real drag for citizens in some parts of the city of not being able to get to the waterfront safely anymore. Thank you.
Any other visitor comments?
There. My name is Hannah Woods. I am local to Columbia County. Thank you for doing this and taking the time. Today I'm here representing our company, Cascadia Glamping. We're an organization dedicated to crafting exceptional outdoor experiences, deeply rooted in community engagement and environmental stewardship. We thank you for replying to my email this morning. expressing our desire to not only support a request for proposals, but also to submit a proposal of our own for the special event coordination and management contract with the city. We understand you are all very busy and dedicated individuals to our community, and while we wait for an RFP to be posted, we thank you for the opportunity to bring forward our draft proposal today to show our community the commitment that we have. Our proposal seeks to evaluate and revitalize St. Helens signature events. Halloween Town, 13 Nights on the River, Christmas tree lighting and Christmas ships, and the 4th of July celebration. At Cascadia Glamping, we pride ourselves on our unique approach to event planning, which integrates local flavor, sustainable practices, innovation, and accessibility. Our team and local partner organizations are committed to infusing these events with renewed energy and creativity to reflect the growing community and its needs. Our vision for each event is clear: to create immersive experiences that captivate attendees and foster a sense of unity and pride within the St. Helens community. From the whimsical adventure of Halloween Town to the patriotic spectacle of 4th of July, each event will be carefully curated to reflect the essence of St. Helens and its vibrant culture. We have outlined a comprehensive plan for each event, including creative conceptualization, vendor coordination, logistics management, marketing, and post-event analysis. Additionally, we have proposed budget allocations that prioritize delivering high-quality experiences while ensuring financial sustainability based on the information available to us. Central to our proposal is our commitment to community involvement and support. We've introduced a tiered vending fee structure to promote local businesses and allocated proceeds to initiatives aimed at enhancing the event experience and supporting participating vendors. Furthermore, we've addressed key aspects such as parking, safety, schedules, vendor management, and marketing, ensuring each event is executed with precision and professionalism. In conclusion, we are excited about the opportunity to collaborate with the City of St. Helens in transforming these events into unforgettable experiences for all attendees for futures to come. It is our hope to have the opportunity to expand on the proposed outline with partner organizations such as CET, Keep It Local, and Main Street Alliance to ensure success. Together, let us create moments that will be cherished for years to come. Thank you for considering this.
Other visitor comments?
Steve Topaz, conversation on corrupt government. Definition of a corrupt government is one that takes care of itself before its citizens. And this I bring up, looking at the package of today's session where the council will approve the minutes. Council meeting is going to be approved is in January 24th. This huge delay on the minutes. There were a number of important things that were brought up, and to have a number of months when you don't discuss this is basically a failure of government. Well, there were a number of things in a number of different venues that were entered. The one thing that threw fog over everything is the emotional attack on tourism. We either have the best tourism or the worst tourism in the country. Without a public contract that's available to the public, we can't judge whether they did or didn't. Where they got $4 million and $2 million of income, and we don't know how much money came in, is basically a sign of corruption. Something may be wrong, something may not, but we don't know. The other point we had, we're having a number of discussions on turning the lagoon into a waste dump. And there's never been a public discussion of this. Again, the council, city administration is supposed to be doing what the people of the city said to do, and the citizens were not able to say anything. We have a public comment period at the beginning of each of our meetings, which is controlled. We have 3 minutes. It used to be 5 minutes. No matter how you cut it, there's limitation of freedom of speech. That also is an indication of a corrupt government. Corrupt government is not necessarily breaking the law. We have a number of things that do not put a good light on how St. Helens is being run. I hopefully will change that. I do not expect the council, the administration to do that. It is being spoken about outside the city other people realize how limited we are to deal with. So I just would like to bring that attention that we have to clean up our act. And seemingly unimportant things are looked at by the outside world is very important. Thank you.
Thank you.
Steve Toskey, citizen of St. Helens. A renaissance is never easy. The city's asking whether Robin and I are willing to discuss resolving our differences regarding the legal dispute concerning the location of the public safety facility is proof positive that we are in a renaissance and it is not business as usual. As Robin said in her statements to council, there is a time for confrontation and a time for collaboration. We're in a process of collaboration. As we explore the most practical and best location for the important public investment of a new public safety facility, it is vitally important that the council and the planning commission have a complete and accurate understanding of the actual costs of creating the facility and each location being considered. This information can only come from reliable sources, and we encourage you to ask questions in that regard. It is our opinion that this council, which has the final say in this issue, give first preference to our urban renewal plan, which calls for investment to revitalize the Holton Business District. In this business district, we have seen citizens who have invested millions of their dollars to create beautiful improvements. Will our city show its commitment codified in our urban renewal plan to invest in our Main Street? Part of our settlement, we request that part of our settlement discussions will involve learning where mistakes were made and adopting measures to ensure that they do not happen again. We're talking about honest discussions where our elected officials should have received more accurate information to make important decisions for our people. Examining how mistakes have occurred will be an important step to ensure that this council and future councils will have improved recommendations that you can rely upon. This process begins with the discussion this evening. Missing from the materials that I see is information about the Holton option. This dynamic should change. I encourage you to ask questions and to direct action such that options are appropriately and fully explored. The reason that Robin and I have taken this step to consider resolution is to ensure that the public safety facility is not killed. Now that we are talking about it, let's pull together and get this right. Thank you.
Robin Toskey, citizen of St. Helens. As many of you know, I'm a multi-generational, homegrown St. Helens native. I grew up here during the 60s and 70s. I graduated from St. Helens High School in 1981. I've been traveling back and forth for decades to visit family and friends for holidays, summer vacations. We moved back here in 2019. This has given me the unique opportunity to have almost a time-lapse experience of the business goings on and the development of the town. When I describe St. Helens to friends that have never been here, I tell them it is a beautiful small town about 30 miles northwest of Portland, down the Columbia River Highway toward the Pacific Ocean. It literally is on the Lewis and Clark Trail. When you take a right turn on Columbia Boulevard, you will experience my hometown. You will travel 1 mile to the mighty Columbia River along our Main Street. When I was a child, we did not call it the Holton. We called it town. It was the town. It was full of busy shops, businesses, restaurants. It had Heine's Cafe featuring delicious baked goods and breakfast. Simling's Pharmacy in the old arcade building was a bustling pharmacy with a lunch counter where people would wait in line for a stool and a piece of pie after their sandwich. There was Sears and JCPenney's. There was Ace Hardware, Bill's Men's Store, the Lemon Rack, Moto Day, Federici Shoe Store. Yes, Richardson's and the Dairy Delish were there as well. The Feed and Seed store was so giant and smelled like a barn. It often had baby chicks hatching and a popcorn maker that was always full of free popcorn. So we see how the towns evolve, and this is part of my time-lapse experience, that are off of a highway. Corporate loves the highway location. This makes the center part of town, the Main Street, the ideal space for small business and civic functions. Placing a beautiful building in the middle of this corridor would breathe life into a space that needs some love. The 30+ folks that naturally drive in and out of that workplace every day would organically patronize the establishments nearby for coffee, lunch, groceries, services. The site in the industrial land would not offer any of this community engagement, interaction, or commerce. I urge you not to be the start of yet another district in our town. Let the industrial land remain industrial. The Holton District deserves our strategic planning commitment, our urban renewal money, our Main Street grants, our events, and our love. Part of revitalizing the Holton is continue our commitment to invest in it. As I stated at my last comment opportunity, I need all of your strength to make sure the Holton locations are thoroughly explored. Rick, I know you share some of the memories and potential for the Holton. You've shared you were a fan of one of the locations there. The rest of you, I don't even think were on the council when this option was put into play in the industrial land. The most important thing to do and what we're hoping for is to get the decision right. The Holton District is our Main Street USA.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I could vision myself going into the feed store.
I know, yeah.
All right, any other visitor comment? Any online? Oh,
Adam St.
we got one here. Hold
Hello. I just wanted to read something into the record. I recently got a letter from somebody that I think is kind of a fun, positive thing that's going on. And this is from Forrest Priest, who was saying that this year I keep getting the entertaining updates about Halloween Town on my Facebook feed. I often hit a like on them. One of my fellow Ballet Austin board members, a woman who has been a community engagement officer with PBS and is now our chief advancement officer for our children's museum, saw them and was so intrigued that she asked her husband, pack up, let's fly out to Halloween Town and have fun in the activities. They rented a local Airbnb at the farm about 15 minutes away from St. Helens and drove in every day. They said they had a terrific time and really enjoyed everything that they did. That certainly shows the power of social media, and luckily the quality of the activities was high. I hope that she'll talk it up and maybe some more people from Austin will come out next year. She also asked me for a list of recommendations for restaurants. And a little bit about Forrest Priest. He has come here every year for the last 5 years. He's a board member of Visit Austin, which is formerly the Austin Convention and Visitors Bureau and the Austin Advertising Club. He's the Badger Dog Literary Publishing and Texas Hill County Wine and Food Festival board member. Along with his wife, he is a founder of the Longhorn Association, a support group for UT Women's Athletics, and has held leadership roles with those organizations. During the summer, Linda and Forrest screened hundreds of films for the Austin Film Festival and co-chaired the organization's Film and Food annual fundraiser. Since 2001, he writes a personalities column called West Side Stories for the West Austin News. They are now active dilettantes and they enjoy traveling and being part of the Austin social scene. I might mention that Forrest was my old ad agent when we conducted international IT events in over 15 cities in the US and Canada. And it's interesting that Forrest and Linda were the writers of the original Dell manual. And they have resided in Austin. They come here every year and they love 13 Nights on the River and they loved watching the witches dance. So that's a positive, that's a really positive engagement. Just an example of people that fly here, how they learn about it, what makes them come, what makes them stay. And they didn't go to Portland, which is, because they could find an Airbnb here. Otherwise, we have to send them back to Portland every day. So I just thought I would let you know that that was a good thing to get in the mail. Thank you.
Let's go ahead and go on Zoom.
Hello, Adam St. Pierre here. First and foremost, I just want to say, congratulations to Terry Massey on his 5 years. That's something remarkable. That's just something about the culture in the police department that when, all the different departments are trying to poach guys that they can keep somebody 5 years, that says something. Aside from that, I do want to give council, some credit. They don't always respond to emails as they don't have time, but as long as they read them, that makes me happy. There's a right way and a wrong way to approach stuff, and sometimes staying silent is better because you don't necessarily want to bring more attention to something than need be. That being said, Mr. Preheim also decided to, say you guys need to be more vocal against our organization. We provide information. We want you to look at the information and do with it what you please. You may not agree with it all. Apparently, Mr. Preheim doesn't agree with it. But what we did see with what he's referencing after one of the council members on the stand, demeaned our organization was another council member actually went out, took the information we were presenting. We didn't write, we presented and did his own research. And that's all we could expect out of you as council is to do your own research. If somebody provides you the information, you look at it. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. Do your own investigation and make the right decisions for the best that you can. That being said, I do think somebody is falling on the job. I don't think there's a reason to have an emergency extension on a contract. This is nothing that is anything new when it comes to the tourism contract. There's a timeline of we knew that it was coming. It's nothing new, and we just procrastinate, and now all of a sudden we need an emergency resolution. I think in the actual emergency resolution paperwork it says failure to plan is not a reason to. So I hope you guys take that into consideration, and I am looking forward to some of the answers to some of the questions I've asked that I know you guys have read and you've addressed, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any others, Kathy? Okay, Adam had hit on our first item on our agenda, which is an employee length of service for Terry Massey. Terry's been here 5 years. I've been here almost 8, and I thought you've been here longer than that, Terry. You were a reserve. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and ask you to come up and give you a nice certificate. Oh, we have to have the city as the background.
And you're like, guys.
All right. Appreciate you, Terry, all your hard efforts out there, all you guys out there, protecting our city, doing the thing late at night or in the morning, protecting and serving. So definitely appreciate you. I appreciate it. Well deserved. Okay, so our next item is if our mayor contestants, do we have them come up on the computer or should I have stayed down there?
Get them on the.
Okay. I will be announcing the winners later. We have received 3 posters. All 4th grade this year. We voted on them, and we're gonna wait till this evening's session to announce winners, but the winner will get $150, and then the second place will get a $50 gift card. So they were very thoughtful and caring. How it's amazing how these 4th graders, how much they think about our world and how they see it. So look forward to doing that tonight and picking the winner. Well, we already have the winner picked, but announcing the winner and sending off the state. We've had in the years past, we've had a couple 1st place, 2 second place, and a 3rd place. So 1st place is a $500 check at state level, and then they get to go to the mayor convention with myself, which would be down in Klamath this year, Klamath Falls. So.
We didn't get any high school submissions this year.
I
so
was
we're
talking
pretty
about that.
disappointed.
Yep. So, yes, take note of that. Could have had $150. All right. So we'll go on to our next item. Which is the water leak adjustment request for 404 North 12th Street, John Walsh, and then we have, let's just do both of them, but the next one will be 695 Columbia Boulevard.
Yeah, thank you.
Columbia River Highway.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. This is at last meeting I reported, this is kind of an infrequent occurrence, and I guess we kind of jinxed it here because we got the exact same thing. We actually had two of them, and I think they're related to the weather events that resulted in some pretty substantial leaks to properties that went at 404 North 12th, another one at 695 North Columbia River Highway. And all of the information is in your packet. There's, in order to qualify for an adjustment, they have to make the repairs, show the receipts of the repair, and so they have that expense, and then they if the amount of money is more than $1,000, they have to come to council and ask for that. So both of these are more than 1,000. So this would be an action item for this evening if you want to entertain that. And first one at 40412 is $3,435.40. Well, the big one, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Does that include the sewer charge on those fees?
yeah, they
Yeah, it does.
yeah, they separate it all out and
Just water?
No, no, it does include this water. The water usage says that your sewer is that amount too.
yeah, and they're
Yeah, so you're right, Russ. But so what we do is we go collectively over last years, most of the time it's a single dwelling unit, the average. But if there's a lot of water, we're charging them for sewer as well. That's same
water part, right?
Yeah, so yes, it is both. Yeah, a big bill.
The water didn't go in the sewer.
I mean, at most people still are under 200. That's a large family. Okay,
So yeah, that's.
any discussion on those? What we just had?
Hope we can stop getting them. That'd be cool.
Well,
I feel bad, like not helping people out,
it
but
should, I mean, I think some people that wait to pay their water bill, we don't charge too much of a late fee, and then sometimes they pay it every other month.
Do we have the specifics on the leak itself? Like, was it a water main break? That was it?
It's a leak in the service outside.
Right. So they would know.
Between the meter and the building, right?
Yeah.
One of them was running toilet last time.
We've had, anywhere from failed, valves, like on sprinklers to this stuff, yeah.
10 feet deep in the ground that are running, and nobody knows about it.
Yeah. Okay, all right, let's get on with the discussion on 13 nights on the river venue during construction. Tina, would you like to come on up?
Thank you. I'd love to.
Yes.
I made a little thing so that we can see that, because it's kind of complicated with so much construction going on. So I had, engineering, give me some blueprints of the area. And mostly for your benefit, so you can see, hopefully. These funky.
Okay, yours doesn't look anything like ours, so we've been updated.
This is the last one that came this week from,
Okay, ours shows construction very much different than what that has going on. So,
okay, then this is the whole construction thing. So I'm getting bad information then from.
well, pitch points down, there's no parking down there, it shows all kinds of shaded areas out. Kathy, do we have any of this in our packet of our stuff from our engineering? Okay. But go ahead, Tina.
Okay, so this is just for our purposes and not the whole waterfront purposes, because there's other things going on down there that we don't have any, definite dates on. So the things that we do know, or that I have been told that we do know, is that the street will not be closed. the street coming through here will not be closed. So these businesses down here will have access to their businesses. We know that this sidewalk will not be closed. And if it was temporarily closed, then people would be able to come in through this area down here by the county courthouse. So the things that we need to pay attention to, if we're gonna do it in the plaza, is what kind of space do we need? So we did an overlay of where City Hall is in the water department and the area that we use for 13 nights, that's for listening to music. And this fits exactly into this. Right here. Then we also said, but hey, wait, there's the beer garden. So we took this as an overlay and that fits exactly into where the rose garden.
Well, it fell short on the park. It came right to the good back of the gazebo, so there's still a lot of park there, your big square.
Well, no one listens to music like that's beyond really this pathway area. I mean, I have pictures of where
Are
they
you
sit.
for real? I
Yeah.
mean, I've been going down there.
The car guy sits
okay.
right here,
Okay. So,
right?
so,
The car guy.
I'm not trying to,
No, I'm just
but
saying.
we've learned a bunch more of what's going on here. We have 5 different projects and I'm kind of leading this and the council is aware of this too. I'm pretty sure, that, we do have 5 projects going on. We have, the county's going to be blocking off that back half of the parking lot right there.
This whole parking lot,
No, this down below.
this parking lot,
No, the water parking lot.
this parking lot.
So what I can tell you right now is on this, and I'm gonna show everybody out here in the public too. Just so we know what's going on here. Is
We can't see now.
I know,
I'll move.
I will show you guys though too.
I'll hold it if you wanna.
But what we know is that this is gonna be open, like Tina said, we are not closing off to the businesses. We are, business is very much happening in downtown St. Helens. This is gonna get narrowed down to a pinch point right here. And it'll be one way coming through here, and then it'll either go out or come in, but eventually this will be narrowed down to one way, and this parking here will be gone. This parking right here will be gone all the way up to here. We're actually getting ready to start right now. We have the parking lot cleared right here. The county's going to be blocking off this much of the parking lot. They're going to be working on their elevator. They're also gonna be out front here replacing these sidewalks. We are also working up here with Landis and Landis, doing a bunch of work. And then we have this little bit of parking we have back here is actually partially taken up right now by the old school. And that'll be 5 projects going on at once. Cause we'll have this completely under construction. And where you came to with your little square was right here. Now, it blocks off right here, Tina, to be fair. It blocks off right. To be fair, it blocks off right here and goes all the way here. And people do sit on the back of that grass, and the other side of that sidewalk. So, but that being said, that's why this was brought up. Okay, we're not trying to not support business down here. Thank you, John. That is not the intent. The intent is to keep safety, public safety.
Sure. So the parking that was taken away from here and here, what the idea is that we would have them park up at the Merriweather location and then they would just ride the shuttle here and they would be dropped off here or here to go into the plaza. The active listening area for the plaza, besides kids playing in the playground, they can still go play in the playground, I think. I'm not sure about that. But the bathroom will still be opened all the time. And this area here, when we measured it on the.
Tina, I hate to disrupt you, and I hear what you're trying to do, but it's not safe. It's a liability.
So are we closing the city down to traffic?
That's ridiculous. That comment is absolutely ridiculous. I have talked to business owners down here,
Yeah,
and so is this entire council. This is our city, and our citizens in an event that we're trying to protect from lawsuits and businesses down here understand, other than a few. And I'm not trying to be that guy, but I kind of, that's who I am. I lead the charge a little bit. And I know plenty of other counselors have reached out and gotten emails too. It just seems like, it's not a safe place to be. Our crew met last Tuesday from the city after your discussion on Friday. And you could have stayed and talked to me when you were in Mohammed's office, but you didn't, because I know you're up there getting that information, this information. But you didn't. And we could have talked about it, but you're a contractor that we hire, and we would really love. We look to you to help assist us. We hire you as a tourism director to assist us in doing events, not fight with us. Okay?
Okay, so how are we doing? This
We'll
is,
let the rest of the council chime in on their comments too, because I know they've been given the information. I don't want to be the only one speaking.
Well, I'll jump in. So I wanted to say, first of all, Tina, I respect your creativeness with trying your hardest to make this work down here. I think everybody values 13 Nights being on the river. I don't think it's gonna work this year. I think we have to move it to McCormick Park for safety, for everyone to enjoy it. And just a reminder, it's just gonna be temporary, 1 year. Do it 1 year and we're gonna move it back to the river on a beautiful new riverfront. So
are we
that's my
doing
thought.
4th of July down here,
That's gonna be another discussion.
because 13 Nights is this, 4th of July is this.
Exactly, and as much as I love that holiday, cause I'm so patriotic and it's our Independence Day and it was when our country was founded, probably not, Tina.
Okay, no, I mean, I'm asking, because that's kind of like I just do the operational side of that, that's why I'm asking.
Well, I think 4th of
Because we
July,
spent the money for the
we're gonna have
fireworks,
to get-
I think.
well, we're gonna have to get creative with 4th of July. There are other parts of the riverfront that we can use for people to enjoy the fireworks from too. Can't really do concerts and stuff without stage and utilities. People can put up a lawn chair pretty much anywhere along the river. So I think that will require us to be a little bit more creative too. But that doesn't mean that we can't do it
Yeah, it's
on
a
the river.
discussion for this council.
Yeah, I've respected what you've done. It's not my thing, but I'm impressed every year in what you're able to pull off. I've gotten a lot, I can't quantify them, but I've gotten a lot of emails from local businesses that would prefer that it was not here just because of the whole distraction and they're supporting and putting it in McCormick Park. And I think that's the best place to do it. I just think for 1 year, let's bite the bullet and let's just move it to just so everything goes smoothly. We don't have any mishaps, hiccups or whatever, because they're most likely gonna happen anyway. Things with construction, something's gonna run late, something's gonna, with kids down here and people down here, the music playing, if they're running until 7, 8 o'clock at night, which they can do, it's gonna be a distraction. And as much as I would rather not see it at the park and remain down here, I just think it's the safest, cleanest way to do it.
Well, if that's the case, then I would put forth that the city covers the insurance for the 13, for it at McCormick Park. You would also.
Hogwash, your tourism, you can deal with it. You should be able to do this. That's BS.
I think
I would like-
in a professional way to say that, I think that would be a discussion between you and John.
Okay.
Based off of the contract and what the expectations are with insurance and events.
I would like to hear from the other two counselors.
Well, I picked up a Chronicle today, came to my house. They do a weekly online poll, and last week's result, the Chronicle asked, where would you like to see 13 Nights on the River concert series located this year? And that came up with 9.7% would be at the Plaza, 41.9% wanted to do the McCormick Park, 3.2% I'm not going no matter where it is. And 45.2% said, if it isn't downtown, it should be postponed till next year. So that was interesting from the public that reads the Chronicle.
No offense, but probably not a huge population if answering that survey. There's 14,000 people here and probably 2,000 of them read that newspaper. Or I'm just, you know, speaking to the choir here, the under 40 generation, that's. I'm reading that.
So.
Dang, maybe I should have said that.
I don't know, you've heard from me before, but I think this is the ideal location to have it downtown. There's been times where I didn't care for the band, but I go because I enjoy the environment and enjoy the location and being on the river, and I appreciate the work that you've done and the thought that you've put into it and trying to make it work, but I don't think it's worth the risk of inviting massive crowds down into the downtown area. While there's all this construction going on. And again, that's not saying that the city's closed down. People are more than welcome to come and enjoy the restaurants and the shops with their families, but there's a difference between coming and going out to eat and inviting 1,000 people down here at once. So I think we can make it work for a year at McCormick. And it's not ideal, but I think we can do it.
Well, and I'm just gonna go a little further because part of this discussion needs to be transparent. If it's because of the beer garden and you can't find a way to do it and carry insurance on it, then we don't need to do beer down there.
It's not just the beer.
It's not just the beer.
No.
We have insurance on our park. Okay, the city already has insurance on its park.
Correct.
You are leasing basically the gazebo, or not leasing, you're getting it for free because you are a contractor within our area, and I don't feel that that is necessarily fair to say that the city needs to cover insurance on an event that you've already been doing, that you acquired from the foundation that originally had it, and they carried insurance for 13 nights. And then well, it was also because the foundation disbanded it. It was only Bob Salisbury who was left.
Christine Sullivan was in there too.
Well, Bob Salisbury was the one who turned it over to us because he came and presented to the council at the time. And then, what did you say?
It was because of insurance. They were dealing with all this insurance issues and they kind of gave up with the.
Okay,
They
well,
were
you
sure other groups didn't.
it kind of sends a wrong message when we can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on a boat, but we can't cover an insurance. And we pay for insurance for that boat. And you can't tell me insurance isn't cheap on that boat. And you as a contractor, use the funds that you raise through our tourism. That's exactly where it comes from.
It's about my insurance.
That's exactly where it comes from. And you cover, that's a huger liability. I know boats, but it's a huger liability than any function in a park. Again, again, there needs to be more discussion, and we should have been discussing this, also. I'm not the one who bolted, you are upstairs.
What's that?
When I came up and you were in Mahala's office.
So I didn't want to interrupt that.
No, you didn't. I was just coming up. I'm here at random and I'm always available.
Because Mohammed told me he had an appointment with you.
I'm always available, Tina.
Can we talk about McCormick and what are next steps there what do we need to do to make it work?
Yeah. So,
You came up with a plan for a walking path and all of that, right?
yes, the engineering team has put up actually a crosswalk that would, they've drawn it all up. They put in parking over in the gravel and also the fair building with a crosswalk coming across with a trail that will have plenty of signage and be lit enough for people to get to the gazebo area. And then there's plenty of wheelchair parking right there on site. And a ton of enough for your vendors on that McCormick Park. And we are going to be getting power supplies over there. That is part of, John, you want to talk a little bit on this? Because you oversee tourism.
On the power supply for the park?
Well, you oversee tourism too. I think you should have some say in all this. Construction and everything.
I know that we're looking to move forward with developing the park's power supply there so it can accommodate events and vendor booths and things of that nature. And PUD's been a partner in that and been working with their staff, and we're gonna go Not talking about that, but, yeah, this is gonna be a really busy next couple of months. Downtown's gonna be completely torn up. I think it'll be safe for pedestrians. It's just gonna be crowded and be limited parking. The businesses that we do have, we want them to be successful for sure. And,
Do you think this would be safe for people? Is that what you just said?
we want people to be safe. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
I mean, there's a ball with the operational side of McCormick Park. This isn't, we don't have enough time to discuss all of it. Right here, this minute.
Yeah, we do. What is there?
Okay, well, let's talk about garbage.
Okay,
So who is gonna be responsible for garbage in the whole park?
we have dumpsters there.
No, I mean-
You use our dumpsters here.
Yeah, but this is a very contained
We have
area.
dumpsters there.
But this is a very contained area.
We have dumpsters there. It's just right up around the corner.
Who's typically responsible for garbage at 13 Nights?
In this area, we are.
I think that should be the same.
We use our dumpster.
But I mean, you're talking about a 23-acre park.
No,
Well, I
no,
mean, we can't tell people not to litter. I
I
mean,
know.
it's
that's
out of
what-
your
that's
control,
why-
even in a small area. They can still walk out of the park and drop something next to their
Well,
car.
we try to get them to, that's why we have 15.
We'll do the same.
no, wait a minute. You know,
We'll try to get
let's
them
be
to
fair.
litter.
You're utilizing about maybe 3 acres. Your
Yeah.
venue is 3 acres. Let's be fair.
So are we fencing?
I mean, no, we're not fencing, but let's be fair, Tina, where the majority of the people are gonna be. You use a 32 acre, okay, so what else do you got?
Well, parking.
Okay, we have more than ample handicap parking than you've ever had down here.
Sure. But most of
Okay.
our audience isn't.
Well, you said most of the people walk. You said most of the people walk, so I hope they will continue to walk. Well, it's no different if they're walking from up there down 18th Street. I used to walk this town and ride this town since I was wee little and stop by the feed store and smell the barn. Okay, so what else we need to discuss? Hey, if you need a beer garden, you can set it up by that bathroom and use part of that bathroom and fence it off over to the other gazebo and have a cover. You know, and come around that gazebo if you absolutely need a beer garden. But I don't think alcohol should be mandatory in order to have a family fun event that has free music involved with it. That's just me. I know they're a big sponsor.
I just wanna say that, I respect your, professionalism with this and your ability to be flexible. And we're all watching, everybody's watching, so I just ask that you consider, you continue to try to be a good team. Have a good team effort with the council and with tourism as a whole, and trying to just be as flexible as you can. With this and with us to try to make this work and try to make it a successful event. We need to be a team. It shouldn't be us versus, E2C. E2C is, our contractor. We want to be a team with you, Tina. So I don't want you to feel like, even though Rick's got a little hot here just now, but.
Oh, no, because I'm getting tired of the political crap that goes along with it. I'm gonna be frank. The way it gets lobbied to us, and it's about public safety. This isn't about political. This is about a good venue. That little area out there is not that comparable. Go walk it. It is not even close. With a bathroom that's gonna be blocked off too, potentially because there's gonna be sidewalks being replaced here and bollards going in here. Eventually, there'll be at some point. We have a public bathroom there. We have everything there. And it shouldn't have to be a fight. It shouldn't be us against them. It shouldn't be, we hire a contractor to help assist us in projects that we don't necessarily want to take care of, like First Street intersection, like the park, like the Strand. Like, we don't have an electrician, right? Because we'll just hire that piece out. The city doesn't have, but we have a plumber. We can do some plumbing. But there's certain things that we pay people to assist us with, not lobby us and tell us that we're not business friendly. But we have a we're shutting down the downtown area, because that is not the intent of this council, and we'll make sure we will promote
Yeah, that's why.
business down this area. So.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Tina, but I think part of the frustration is it's 13 nights on the river, right? And now you're selling that to your vendors and your performers as 13 nights in the park. Is that part of the issue?
Not really.
Okay, so that's not an issue at all.
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, I think people love coming to the river, but I don't think that's the be all end all.
I mean, I think it could work here. I think for 1 year, I think it's just better placed somewhere where it's not gonna be in the middle of a construction zone. And that's just for everybody's safety and as far as the contractors that are doing the construction as well. You know, who knows who's gonna get in the way at the wrong time, be at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Well, I can guarantee you, there's gonna be some hammering going on, there's gonna be some loud noises, I'm not trying to be so emotional, but I'm tired of the way this always becomes political with this, and I think there's so much around this that we have to address, and it's coming to a head. Well, it's not about money,
To me, it is, it's just like when you mess with people's money.
it's not about money.
They pay attention.
It's not about money, so, it's also about public safety. It's our first and foremost. Right there, our mission is what it's about for us. You may live by a different one, by trying to get sponsors and appease the business owners, and through sponsorship, you also get that. But ours is to develop and preserve the highest possible quality of life for our residents and businesses and visitors. Provide safe and healthy environment within a sound economical framework. Provide leadership that is open and responsive, and I am very open and very responsive to the needs of the community and work for the benefit of all, not a few, all. Okay? I am not affiliated. I have no skin in the game. Nobody greases my palms in any way, shape, or form. That being said, I'm the one who brought this up. I told you I wasn't trying to blindside you 2 months ago, or a month ago, 3 meetings ago. There's no discussion. It came up. We had a bunch of testimony here, and I imagine we'll get some tonight because people are watching. Just because I know the nature of this and how political it is. I'm a psychic. I'm almost envisioning that it's going to happen tonight.
I think it's about relationships. And Tina, you have established some really strong relationships because we've seen them in this room. And so we need you now to kind of, go to those relationships and make them feel comfortable with this temporary change.
It's just about money.
But it's about people too, and if you demonstrate your care and your support for those people that you have established relationships with, that's how we make it through this.
Anthony, did you put that up? This is what I asked from Mohammed of the construction schedule and timeline.
Yeah.
For all the downtown area.
Yep.
And if you can read that, basically, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 projects in the downtown area. That the intense part is from 4/24 to 12/24. This town's gonna be just a little torn up, and that's supporting contractors all coming in to work on those areas. And this is their estimate. Well, everybody goes over. We're already going over on a couple projects time-wise.
Yep.
So just look at how busy we're going to be in that whole area.
Yeah. Busy.
And the other side of that is once it's all finished and done, you're gonna have this great venue to have 13 nights.
And we can remarket it with this new venue, like we're back on the river. The marketing brain in me.
Yeah.
So if I could, this is an issue. I'd like to raise something about the small business support. Not only have we, through our communications, doubled down on the construction communication, making sure that people are well communicated on what's happening when, and, contact the business owners, but we're actually contracted with a videographer to come in and do targeted small business support. So those will be features coming up on social media, We have to go really through that window that we were looking at right there to try to make sure these businesses are supported the best they can. Despite the disruption, and on the backside, they're gonna have brand new downtown, it's gonna be great.
So that was part of my, when I went and reached out to most of the business owners down here, were like, just get in and get it done. And we understand that this is the year that it's coming this way. No, I don't know how else to explain it. We started at the other end. You didn't realize it, but there was a bunch of work being done down there just because we hadn't disrupted your day-to-day life. And now we're up to this point, putting in infrastructure. And, once it's done, it's gonna spark development and all kinds of economic growth that's gonna be beneficial to all. And I'm sorry if I got a little bit emotional, Tina. I owe you an apology for getting emotional, but I don't like whether you call it drama or political, political pressures or the intimidation that comes from not just your group. So maybe that's why you got the brunt of it, because it's not just your group, it's other groups too. And it doesn't work. I mean, it really doesn't. It just makes people look ugly. And I apologize to you for my tone. I don't apologize for the content, and the way I delivered it was not correct. And so I wish I could have delivered it a little bit better than I did. But everything I said, I stand behind. So with that, we can vote on it later.
I was gonna say, do we need direction or how does that work?
Yeah, yes. We'll get direction later, so. Okay. Our next item is discuss industrial park property, the power situation over there. Again, Project Sprint, and I want to mention that a big thank you to Mohammed, who we kind of put as project lead. We did put as project lead from the city. He put a lot of time into Project Sprint on that. This whole, I just want to give him a shout out because he's one I left out. We are fortunate enough to still be the recipient of a $2.4 million grant for the substation over at our industrial site. And I would like the council to just kind of think collectively, and we kind of need PGE on this. And John, we need you to get somebody here from PGE, whether it be Gohar or whoever, that we could either meet as a group and go out there collectively, because I'm tired of assuming where we want it and where they might want it, and that we can just find a collectively good spot, whether it be clear up the front where a substation should be. Do we need 5 acres now? We're looking for mega power. Is 35 enough to serve? These are all questions we need to ask ourselves, because that narrows it down to 3 acres versus 5. 35 is a lot for 204 acres. When we're not feeding. We've had 35, the PUD has forever, right? For our whole area. Is 35 enough?
35 can suffice everything to be put in there. Less you get a big power need like a solar cell company.
Would it be enough to reopen the mill?
Oh, easily.
I talked to them the other day when I did that
That's the
walk.
priority right now.
I talked to them and we did a walkthrough. And he said, that existing one, way more than enough.
Yeah.
It wouldn't need all the power from there. He said he says that people talk about, they say, well, it's dangerous and it's old and all that. He says it needs maintenance. It's perfect right where it's at. They're happy with that existing. I don't know if we're the ones to choose where a new site would be. I think we have to look at the whole site and
Collectively come together.
we need a new one. We want to bring in that much power to attract big companies, Hillsborough still, they've got problems with power.
So
What's going on there?
Yeah, so PGE serves us,
Yeah.
and PGE themselves are the one that said that thing was unsafe. In a meeting we had collectively with them out of the PUD. So, and we have the grant, that's what the grant is.
Say if we have the
for.
grant, we need to just do it.
Yeah, yeah,
Why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
If we have the grant.
That won't get you, that won't get you a new.
no, but PGE will,
Won't get you a new one.
but PGE will put the supply there.
My question is if we're looking at 35 megawatts,
That would be the transformer size that you.
Okay, right.
Go to.
but is that,
Or-
are we better off getting something that's oversized, overkill at this point? On knowing that,
You have a control of it, you get what you get.
Yeah, yeah. That's right.
so 35 megawatts is what we're gonna get.
Whatever PG says they can give you.
So, good discussion on this is really good. I just wanted to spark it up, John.
Yeah, the status of the semiconductor industrial readiness lands funding coming from the state. We had a kickoff meeting about 2 weeks ago, and they were doing a financial, it says forgivable loans, a little bit of a direct grant. And it is a grant in the sense that if you use the funds for the intended purpose intended that.
Yeah.
Is Oregon works through their department, doing a financial review, then it will go to the Department of Justice for their review, then it'll come back to the council for acceptance. At the same time, we've already notified PGE that these funds are awarded, and we intend to collaborate on, the transmission piece of it that the county's got, to where they want to bring the power in and where the best place for the substation might be. And the substation location could go pretty much anywhere, and it's just a matter of, with Project Sprint, it was trying to keep it out of their footprint, and it had such a large footprint. Close enough, but not too close. That'd be more speculative in that nature.
So one thing I'd like to put on the record, and maybe it's speculation, but it's my understanding that the reason that Project Sprint didn't decide to site here is the lack of power. Is that correct?
I mean, if they'd have their 100 and, they wanted 120 total, they wanted 35 for Scappoose and 85 for here. Yeah, they would have been here.
Well, it wasn't from a lack of, we just didn't have the power.
That has been the number one concern from them the whole time, so.
So this could be a turning point. Getting the power here and attracting other similar businesses.
Yeah, the silver lining is that we know about the issue, we're working on the issue, we have funds dedicated towards resolving it, and it'll be in a lot better place next time we have an opportunity.
So when I was talking to the PUD, they said the two biggest power people in the county right now are Dino Noble, which is 10. And then US Gypsum is 5. Oh, we're talking a 35, brand new 35 substation. So you could do 2 Dino Nobles, 2 US Gypsums, and still have 5.
That would supply St. Helens.
Just our 204 acres, not St. Helens, just our 204, because it's the power, it's where you plug into the power from that
But
side.
that would include our industrial area
Yes.
on Castor.
Yep.
Okay. For
Yeah,
light
for-
industrial,
for
which is something we're
204
hoping
acres.
to eventually have, is some light industrial in that area too.
So I guess what I was trying to go with that, and Russ is right, unless we get a data center that wanted to be here, but we could put some really good businesses that use a lot of power, but not that kind of power, because data centers can soak up 50 to 100 in no time flat. Yeah, even more.
A lot more, yeah.
Yeah, but most of your businesses, like I said, the 2 biggest power ones are Dino Noble, which makes fertilizer. The first part of dynamite, that's what I like to say, where you get your dino from.
So you said we just need to decide where we're putting it. So you tell me when and where.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
And we're gonna work with our service provider to. On that.
yeah. I mean, but we need to get an idea. If it is in the woods, we need to know, so we can start prepping and getting some rock knocked down. Does it need to be lifted up? Is it not? We can start doing that stuff. The
Yeah.
closer we can get the properties ready,
you gotta get permitted first. You can't just start rocking. I mean, you've done that out there before and there's stuff that's not happened. So let's not put any effort into it until we know exactly it's gonna go in that spot.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get around to. That's what I'm asking us to look collectively with our provider. Where we want it to go.
Don't know how much design work's been done on that whole site. I see we. So,
We have that partition, you know, you've seen that, right?
seen the partition, those are just lines.
Yeah, I know.
If there's anything else or a road infrastructure, but I.
Yes, there
You
is.
know,
There
the
is.
Arcadia project, I mean, they're gonna have an imprint there that is not gonna use a lot of power. And we just have to work with them to get that, that's the bird in the hand right there. We can build with
Absolutely.
those guys.
Yep.
And they're flexible to say what they need for land and all that, and
Yep. I agree.
they can be up and operating with what's there.
Make it happen.
So
Now.
we need to figure out there's access in there and sort of figure out how that whole area is gonna be working for power, water, sewer, and a whole bit.
Yep.
But they're all hooked up basically. So it's just a matter of working with them and getting that going.
Yeah, we have to definitely make sure that they understand though that it goes all the way through to some of the property they don't come through that middle of that mill. Rory knows it best.
Oh, yeah, I mean, there's discussion there,
Yeah.
but we have solid
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
that want to come in and take that liability off our hands.
Yep. Yep.
So,
Win-win.
yeah.
Okay, so, but we're safe in facilitating that meeting with our provider, just to look at it collectively. We're,
Yeah, we've already reached out, trying to get something going. On the calendar. Well, I've already reached out to PG to let them know that we have this award and to get to work on this.
Okay.
I just know that it's been a lot, we've been talking about power down there, John,
Okay.
for a long, long time. Okay, it just seems like there's not a lot of changes down there, and nothing changes unless something changes. It's true, nothing changes unless nothing
It's just a
changes.
really terrible thing. I don't know where that.
Nothing changes if nothing changes. So it's not actually, it's not,
It's terrible.
it's about action. So,
Be the change you wish to see in the future. That's a better. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
all right, so. On to our next one. Look at that, Russ, I'm gonna have us out of here. Flying Eagle. Okay, we had a monkey survey. Everybody has the results here, right?
Survey monkey.
Yeah, whatever. And it was overwhelmingly 65% people said declare it as surplus and set it free. And to 35% wanted to keep it and store it. I don't know what everybody's action, how they feel about it.
Well, I have just a comment that I want to talk about. So I think one of the things that I read a lot when people were talking about it online was that they didn't understand the full scope of what it takes to properly display this, and we've talked about it many times. We talked about putting it in the new park. It would have to be put on a platform and holes drilled into it. People don't want holes drilled into it. The case around it, like, is that gonna be damaged by kids that are hanging out in the park? Are they gonna be climbing all over it? It would be a challenge to display it respectfully and thoroughly where it's gonna require maintenance. So that was one of the issues with displaying it somewhere. And the other issue with loaning it out is we have insurance that the city has that we have to jump through those hoops with insurance to make sure we're doing things safely. And our insurance is saying, no, we cannot loan it out and let random people ride in it. Like, if someone died, that would be the city. Everyone who lives here would be paying for that. It would be terrible. So that's just something we cannot do as a city municipality. So that is why we came up with these two options, because these were the most feasible options that we could come up with to free the canoe. Like, we just want to free the canoe, but we have to jump through hoops as a city to surplus items and get rid of items legally. That's what we're trying to do. So that's my comment on it.
We have to declare, like you said, Councilor President Chilton just said, declaring it, we have to declare it as surplus property and allow it to, basically anybody to say, I have an interest in it. That's just the way public works, the process works.
Even if it's for $1.
Yeah, so,
Can I make a comment?
One comment? Let me get the rest of the council.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know the process, I'm just passionate.
So what are you guys' feelings on it? Yeah.
Doesn't do us any good sitting under a tarp. I don't like that it sits there, it doesn't get seen, it doesn't get used. I also didn't like the idea of displaying it in the park because in 10 years, that thing's gonna be gone and be destroyed. There's problems with displaying it in a case, like Jessica said, you look at what goes on in our parks now.
Yep.
You put that thing down there in a plexiglass clay case, it's gonna be graffitied, scratched up, it's gonna be destroyed, so I don't see that being an option. Some people said, give it to the Historical Society. The Historical Society has no place in the canoe.
Back to the guild.
Take it to the library. I think it was at the library at one time. It's a big canoe and there's no good place to display it and give it the respect that it deserves, so. Those are my thoughts.
Go ahead.
My next?
You know, I think it has a huge following.
Yeah.
And if we put it out there, for $1,
Yeah.
if we have a group getting together, there's a lot of people out there, obviously.
Yeah.
Then they can come up with what they want to do and make something happen. I see where liability wise, and then Brandon's good point, because we put it somewhere, it'll get vandalized and then weather and all that, so. Put it out to these groups that want to do something with it.
Yeah.
Not that we don't want to, it's sort of tighter hands there.
Yeah.
Boats are meant to be in the water.
Yeah.
The logs are meant to be in the water.
It's a log.
No, I want to see it. I want to see it out of the water. I want to see people enjoying it. I don't think just looking at it under glass or in a museum does any good. So I would like to see it being used and Bill mentioned, teaching how it was constructed. That whole thing. I think it's just an educational opportunity.
Well, and yes, are you done? That's good.
Am I supposed to be done?
No, I was just wondering.
Yeah, I'm done.
I was gonna make my comment now. I kind of feel sentiment of the whole council is what I hear here. Is that, it was, that canoe was constructed to float. It was worked by a lot of different people. I know it's been shared. It's, of course, the city it's a liability for us when it's in use, and that's why we wanted to get this, survey done. And I think it's pretty overwhelming with the response that, what the right thing is to do. We have to wait till later to make a decision. We will always wait till our evening session to do any official voting. But, I think I'm hearing a census here that gonna be declared surplus property. And, that more than likely, I would hope that nobody would bid against you, and I don't think, how that works completely, Kathy. The process, maybe you can explain it just a little bit, it goes to surplus property. How long does it have to be open for?
John can probably explain.
Well, there's two options. One, you would declare it surplus, but it can go to another public agency. Like when you
Sure.
give cars to, or maybe, that somebody put in here about the fairgrounds being an option. Or you can do it with the highest private bidder, basically.
How long does it have to be open for?
The private bidder.
Yeah,
As long as you want.
but when we put it and have a deadline by next meeting. If we decided to do that later. Sure.
Yeah, we'll confirm if there's an ORS as far as how long it happens.
Government is slow.
Yeah, that's one of the most frustrating things.
Comments made, I really need to make it. Can I make it?
All right, Bill, come on up and make your comment.
First off, let's go back to what you said. Nothing happens if nothing happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it rots away.
Yeah.
That don't work. Okay. And you put it up for surplus, man, you guys are gonna lose this.
We hope to lose it to you.
I got $2. I can tell you right now, there's people out there gonna put 3 out. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. The last thing I asked you guys is to lose it. This is yours. John, it's yours, man, even though you don't love it. It's yours. It's yours, it's yours, it's yours. You say there's no documentation, man, it killed me. As far as safety, man, Coast Guard has covered us for years. I'm your man. You don't have to surplus this. You can give this to me. And I can give it back. All I gotta say, man, don't lose this canoe. And, you know, to surplus it or to think other people like the county, sir, I don't even know you. I'm sorry. I've never seen nobody else step up here trying to take care of this thing. That's just something that needs to be a reality. I helped carve it. Yep. I paddled it down the Yellowstone to Missouri and Mississippi, flipped in it twice. Almost died. But we didn't. We know what we're doing. We're top of the best. Don't lose this kid, man. You can give this to me. And later on I get it back.
Yep, we have to declare it surplus. I mean, that's just the way it is. We'll, you know, we're not in the process of losing it. We're actually letting somebody. We're setting it free, okay? We're not losing it. We're actually returning the eagle to the wild, Well, Bill, you know, that's just a government process, you know, and I'm not gonna sit up here and debate that with you.
Actually, about something I've done for 2 decades in my life. And it's
Well,
really,
so
it's in it, right?
what I would encourage you to do is pray about it, great spirit, all that, the turtle on front, you know, all that. Karma, it all works out. When I get in fear, I start acting out, okay? When I get in fear, I start acting out. And
I'm fear that we could lose.
well, there's only one, there's only one entity that controls all, so. Okay, but it sounds like a pretty good consensus of where we're going with this later, so.
From the email we got from the insurance company, while it's ours, it's not gonna go in the water. It's not gonna be used.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if that's the hope that it's gonna be used, that it's gonna be enjoyed, it can't be us that's doing that.
And to be able to take our name off of it as a city, we have to surplus it, as John just said, or give it to an organization,
A government.
a government organization. So we don't have a lot of options.
And we still have to surplus it, So
So no matter what, we have to surplus it.
Yep.
So unfortunately, that's the only way that we can get it out of our ownership.
Okay. Yeah, Russ, I know that you have some stuff to go.
I gotta run out here in a few minutes, so.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and start with John's city administrator's report.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Try to be brief here, but this week is Volunteer Appreciation Week. It's April 21st or it's not this week, this month. April is 21st to 27th is Volunteer Appreciation Week. And Kathy wants to know if we need to plan for a boards and commission appreciation reception. And if so, we're gonna have to do it rather quickly. So
I think we should.
I don't know if we should during our budget.
It's about $1,200.
We have it in our council funds though, already in our budget, this year's budget.
That's because you didn't give money out this year.
So it's not money that it's already been budgeted, I'm sure we have quite a bit there still, because we didn't get any out.
Well, we have League of Oregon Cities and stuff too, right? That comes out of that budget.
That will be after, that'll be the new budget.
So how much is in there right now?
I don't know if I'm not Gloria, but guessing there's quite a bit.
I think,
There's $1,200. And that supplies all the orders in a venue, right? We'll usually use the,
Municipalities Wild Current and Sunshine. If you have a suggestion.
I mean, I think it's a great token of appreciation for our board and commissions.
I'd like to look at Beyond the Forest though. Catering.
I think it's nice for them to be recognized for the work that they do. A lot of people dedicate a lot of time for
Absolutely.
city projects. I have been to a few of those where the attendance hasn't been that great, so I'd like to. Maybe we could get a feel if there's interest, if people would show up, if we do it.
I mean, we have an agenda that we talk about at that meeting. I'm trying to remember. I think making sure that it's useful to people that are coming, part of it.
It's usually just a social appreciation event.
And kind of a dinner and get certificates usually done.
I think maybe that's why people don't come.
Well, they came last year.
Well.
How many did we have last year? We had quite a few.
Let's see, probably at least more than 20.
Doing it.
Yep. I do too.
I'd be glad to help any. I can do a speech. I can't do the food, so.
I actually normally talk at that.
Okay, well, let Brandon talk too. He can talk about maybe like the
Oh.
work that went into the Veterans Memorial or something. He knows a lot about that.
We're sure of the wealth.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, when you're addressing your boards and commissions and you're handing out certificates, it comes from the mayor of the city.
That part's fine. I was just saying maybe having something else.
That's normally all we do there, and then we just have social, but, if you guys wanna do. Maybe you can do, even researching, Joe. Maybe
come up with something.
maybe you can come up with something like that.
Yeah, no, I think we should have it though.
I do too.
Be mad at me.
Okay, go ahead, John.
So just to recap on some action items coming out of Project Sprint and their inability to make a decision and moving forward on the electrical, we talked about that a fair amount here. The communications around that. Both papers are covering that. Does the city want to do and kind of one of those issues where it's not a positive things. You want to do a press release on something that's not happening, or should you want to just let the papers cover it?
I think the city needs to address it 100%. Whether or not it's good or bad, we still need to have our stance and articulate the facts.
Yeah, just funny, but it's not entirely bad because we're now, highly tuned in on what the issue is to bring big projects here now. So
Well, and we're still working on, other options and other opportunities on that site.
it's true.
So that's a good chance to also talk about that.
And, okay, Crystal and I will work on that. And, related to that, my assignment on the League of Oregon Cities, Energy and Environment Policy Committee, the vice chair for that committee, we met earlier today. And just, the world of electricity, the transmission, it's very, very complicated when private and publics and municipalities running. And they're all competing to get transmission. Transmission is such a huge deal, and there's the technical part of it as far as wire and poles and all of that infrastructure cost, and then there's the market-driven side of, the Wall Street side of it, that's, trading power and things of that nature. But we met with Representative Mark Gamba, who's really tied into that and talking about some of the new technologies they have as far as grid enhancement, where they can run more power over different poles with different conductors, up to 20-25%. So that might be an opportunity. And then
No, they would do what? They use the same poles?
They use the same poles and can run more power just by changing the
Conductors on top.
conductors. But that only works in certain circumstances where you have redundancy, because you have to take that section down and then build it new, and then bring it back up, and it can bring quite a bit more electricity.
And I know Mark, he was mayor of Wilsonville, right?
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, yes, yep.
Other barriers around permitting processes, they're really low bars, so they're looking at kind of having more waivers or having the threshold higher to do exchanges rather than rebuilds, having different permitting requirements. And, bringing that, what used to be a 20-year process down to 5 to 10. Right now, you say you want a new transmission line. Energy companies are thinking 20 years, and that's not gonna work for us. It's not working for anybody.
Our fast track was 7 years.
Yes,
Fast
Problem
track.
statewide, right?
and it's not just state, it's
National.
it's a national issue. This is our first month without having Rachel here. Rachel worked closely on administration and grants and coordinating networking relationships. So that's falling back onto Crystal and myself and everybody. Yeah, there's a lot there.
Yeah.
It's gonna be missed. That position is not concluded in next year's budget, so we're just gonna have to adjust to a new normal here.
You guys all got your invite from Gustavo through me, right? For Berkeley's,
Yes.
right?
Although I already heard about it from the mayor of Scappoose. Sorry, beat you to it.
Yeah.
He's been meeting you to things lately, hasn't he?
For several years now, we've been working on the waterfront project and nurturing a relationship with some of the cruise boat ships that come up and down the river as potential port of call, and they've always said, yeah, you're not quite there yet. And so we met last week with American Cruise Lines to kind of keep that relationship alive and, maybe potentially have a stop like Kalama has on their waterfront.
That's Astoria, right?
And Astoria, and several places up and down the river.
He absolutely loved our waterfront. Absolutely. I met him out here and he just can see the vision that we have here. That's a big piece that's never talked about is the in-water piece.
Oh, yeah. And if you go to Klamath and you look at how they've done it there, it doesn't really take up that big of a footprint. May 3rd, small cities meeting, here in this room. That's for staff and elected, so talk about regional priorities and things.
League of Oregon Cities meeting?
League of Oregon Cities, sorry.
Small cities.
Small cities, but all cities are invited. That's it.
Good. I don't think we have any executive session stuff going on.
I did have a real property.
Real property?
Water?
Yeah, I think I need to get some more.
Got my tea here.
Getting choked
Okay.
up, huh?
All right, so we're going to adjourn, but after we adjourn, we're gonna go into executive session under ORS 192-6602. E, real property transaction. And with that, we are adjourned.